Pickle, Texas's loss last night in the Sugar Bowl, of course, brings to a close football season, if you're not counting, Cowboys or Texans, within the state of Texas, which means that it's the off season. And if it's the off season and it's Tuesday, then you better believe it's Math Tuesday.
Math Tuesday. Math Tuesday.
That's right. It's Math Tuesday.
Let's go!
Perhaps our most celebrated segment. It's something that the people have been asking for.
It's me. I'm the people.
It's what people crave in the off season. It's that little bit of juice that gets us through the long off season. It's Math Tuesday, in which we take a look at the numbers about football across the state of Texas. And we're going to start by just taking a look and calling our own foul.
Yep.
Plain and simple. Here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football, we're an organization that covers football from stem to stern, from rooter to tutor, from tip to tail.
Yep. And
most, the place where that really all comes together the most is in our annual summer magazine. Of course, the summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, the quote-unquote Bible of Texas football. And aside from having breakdowns and analysis and all the things that you come to expect from us, of kind of going in depth on the 47 college teams across state and recruiting and of course the 1,500 plus Texas high school football teams, we also make a lot of predictions, right? Something we do. We go on there. We make a prediction for every district. We make a prediction for every classification.
We do love predictions.
We like predictions. We like to put ourselves out there and say, all right,
here's what we think.
This is what we think is going to happen in the season ahead. Mm-hmm. But that only works if people actually think that we know what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. And as a result, I think it's really important. I think it's something you and I have worked very hard on, is to build a sense of transparency, a sense of accountability.
Oh, yeah.
At Dave Campbell's Texas Football, we want you to go and tell us how well or how poorly we did. Mm-hmm. It's important because we want you to trust us, and we want you to understand our thought process so that we're hopefully, ideally, not blowing out the rear end. And so I went back, and of course I should mention that especially on the high school side, we get a lot of help from our friend Jerry Forrest. Jerry Forrest at pigskinprep.com. Our outrageously talented and dedicated data guy. There's got to be a better word. Data analyst probably works better. Who helps us kind of sort through all the data
guy.
to help us come up with our predictions.
Yeah, and the unfeeling robot.
Yes. And so let's take a look, Pickle, at how we did. And we'll go from macro to micro, okay? We're going to take a look only at the UIL, Texas high school football season. And if you go from the big picture, of the 12 state champions in the UIL, Texas high school football in 2023, we correctly projected 5 of them. Duncanville, DeSoto, Aledo, Albany, and Benjamin. Those are we got 5 out of 12 at the beginning of the year. Pretty good. Mm-hmm. I mean, when you're considering you're trying to project these things out and all these things. For what it's worth, we also had 3 number 2s, okay? Gordon, Gunner, and Timpson were all number 2 to start the year.
Okay.
Behind Westbrook, Refugio, and Canadian, respectively. There were 2 others that were in the top 5. Gilmer was ranked 5th. Malakoff was ranked 5th. But we did pick Franklin and Carthage to win those state championships, respectively.
Which, shocking that we would pick the 2
defending champs. 582, we picked Melissa. That was incorrect. It was Port Neches Groves, who was number 6. And if you're looking for our big whiff, quote-unquote big whiff, it was Anna. Anna in 4A Division 1. Although they were ranked 8th. To me, as long as you're in the top 10, I'm like, okay, I can live with that. I can live with that. I'd prefer you
top
be
5
in the top.
Is great.
Top 5's great.
Yeah.
Top 10 is a miss, but it's a good miss.
Yeah,
you know
especially depending on graduation rates. Those are the ones like Anna when they're losing their best quarterback that they had ever had and all of that stuff. It's like, okay, I don't feel bad missing on that. It's not like someone like Gunner that's coming back with their whole slew of crew.
Absolutely. Of the 24 state finalists, we got 11 of them right. 11 out of 24. Duncanville, North Shore, DeSoto, Aledo, Franklin, Albany, Mart, Westbrook, Gordon, Benjamin, and Oglesby. The teams that we missed, let me see if I can pull this up. The teams that we missed were first of all, I want to start at the bottom. Not the bottom, but at the smallest classifications. We got all 4 6-man teams. State champions, state finalists. They both, Westbrook, Gordon, Benjamin, and Oglesby all started 1-2 to start the year. So we're going to take a win on that one. And 6-man can be kind of hard to win. We also got 2 at Division 2 exactly right, Albany and Mart. The teams we missed, we had Refugio Hawley in 2A Division 1. Didn't work out. 3A Division 2, we had Canadian and Harmony. Missed on, obviously, both of those. It ended up being Gunner and Tidehaven, which were 2 and 4, by the way. I will say in 3A Division 2. 3A D1, we had Franklin and Brock. Got a half right. And
Brock played in the state semifinal against Malakoff.
In a 1-score heater.
Yep.
You know what I mean? 4A D2, Carthage and Silsby.
Yeah.
That one didn't go right. We had Gilmer. Gilmer was at number 5, and they beat Belleville, who started the year at number 8. 4AD1, we had China Spring and Bernie. Neither one of them made it, but it was Chapel Hill, who was number 3, and the aforementioned Anna, who was number 8. 582, we had Melissa and Fort Bend Marshall. Ended up being South Oak Cliff number 2, and Port Neches Groves at number 6 in the title game. 5AD1, we had Aledo. Nailed it. We had them playing College Station. They instead played Smithson Valley, who was number 6, and beat College Station. And then in 6A, we had Duncanville and North Shore and DeSoto. So 3 of the 4. The ones that we missed was Humble Summer Creek. Summer Creek started the year 21st. So that was the team. But again, I'm not here to make excuses, but one of the things that we got wrong was we projected Katy to go to the Division II bracket, and we thought they were going to play in the Division II state championship game. They obviously went to the D1 bracket. It didn't work out. Regional champs. So state semifinalists. 28 out of 48. Okay. 58, nearly 60% on regional champs. I'll take that. That's okay. Not bad. District champs. 138 out of 192. Almost 72% on district champs. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty good. And of the 704 UIL Texas high school football playoff teams, the 704 teams that made the playoffs, we projected 83.5% of them, 588 of them, which means that there were only, let me do some quick math here on my calculator because I'm bad at math and didn't pay attention. There were 116 teams that we did not predict to make the playoffs that did. Or vice versa, 116 teams that we predicted to make the playoffs that didn't.
That's one of those that it's just like on like the picks video and stuff. Anything over 80% is pretty.
I think that's exactly
pretty
right.
impressive,
especially when you're talking about the playoff teams.
Because most of those, I would bet if we did the math, I would bet most of those were maybe we had them as the 5th seed and the 4th seed ended up dropping out.
I would love,
you know,
I would need to dig in and see where our biggest whiffs were of like teams that like.
Who did we think were going to be in the top 2 in their district and didn't make the playoffs?
Going like 1 and
but
9
it's like
or
anywhere
like
from
that.
3 to 4 and the 15 sneaking in or losing off a tiebreaker or stuff like that. For 116 of those teams is not bad.
Or vice versa. We mentioned we saw when Ganado made the state semifinals and they played against Timpson, right? And they had that run through about how Dave Campbell's picked them 4th in district, which is true. Now they didn't win their district. You know, Refugio won their district, but they knocked off Refugio when it mattered most. But that's an example of a team that we did predict to make the playoffs, but certainly didn't predict them to go as far as they did. So this is just kind of top line level of how we did. Overall, I thought we did okay.
Yep.
I think I'll take it, all of these. There's things obviously we'd love to be perfect. But that's probably not going to happen because Texas high school football is unpredictable.
I would be mad if we were completely perfect.
It'd be boring.
Yeah, like that would be like the worst season.
It would be boring. Yeah, exactly. It wouldn't be fun. But anyway, that is how we fared on our Texas high school football predictions in the preseason. Why don't you let us know what you think of our predictions? Just send us an email.